on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. This is Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Also brought to you in part by Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com or your local Ford dealer and score a Ford SUV today. Coke Zero Sugar, and refreshingly delicious. Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bud Light, it's for the fans. And by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Now, live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa, this is Hey Coach.
Roll Tide and welcome to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. Welcome, everybody. This is Roger Hoover alongside our producer and engineer, Tom Stipe. We're glad you're with us tonight at Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide, everyone. How about the Crimson Tide SEC Tournament champions, along with the regular season championship? In the second half hour of the show, we'll be joined here at the restaurant by head coach Nate Oats to talk about what's ahead in the NCAA tournament for Alabama. But first, we'll be hearing from baseball head coach Brad Bohannon, as he's already on the road to Mobile, Alabama, playing at South Alabama coming up tomorrow. So we recorded this interview earlier today. You'll be hearing from Coach Bohannon when we return in just a few moments. Fans, you can keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app, presented by Cadence Bank, available at the App Store and Google Play. Download the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app now for free. You're listening to Hey Coach from Baumhower's Victory Grille, the official watch party location of the Crimson Tide. Brad Bohannon joins us next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Treatment Company, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood is championship quality lumber for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. No rot, no decay, no termites, no problems. Just wood treated right. To locate your local Everwood store, visit everwoodtreatment.com. Everwood Treatment, official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Southern homes are particularly vulnerable to termites. In this climate, you need guaranteed protection. You need Cook's Pest Control and Centricon. Termites attack the Centricon stations, exposing themselves to an agent that eliminates their entire colony. Upgrade from old-fashioned liquid service to the proven protection of Centricon and Cook's Pest Control. Call Cook's today for a free evaluation.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control. Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
You can trust your car to the place with the star. With tech running your engine, enjoy your hobbies near and far. Fill your car with all your friends and love the time you spend. So trust your car to the Texaco Star.
When you fill up with Texaco with Tech Run, you get unbeatable mileage to help fuel what you love to do. Download the Texaco app to find a station near you.
If you're looking for the best selection in Crimson Tide apparel, look no further than the Soup Store. The Soup Store is every Bama fan's ultimate destination for the hottest gear and accessories, with 3 great locations around campus to serve you: in Tuscaloosa on campus at the Ferguson Center, on the Strip in front of Bryant-Denny Stadium, and on Bryant Drive. If you can't get to Tuscaloosa, shop the Soup Store online at soupstore.ua.edu. The Soup Store is a proud partner of Alabama Athletics.
This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious, is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. We continue on Hey Coach with a recorded interview for today as Coach Bohannon is hitting the road going to Mobile and Gainesville this week with the Alabama baseball team. But this is Roger Hoover now pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Brad Bohannon. And Coach, Roll Tide, a great start to the season for Alabama. How's everything going as we start a new portion of the schedule this week?
Yeah, we're off to a good start. We're really glad to be 15-2 and have done a lot of good things. And, as you mentioned, we're excited to, number one, to get down to Mobile tomorrow. A lot of Bama fans in the greater Mobile area. It'd be a lot easier for them to get out and see us play. I know we'll have a great crowd and excited to get back out there one more time before league play starts on Thursday at Florida, which will be a tremendous challenge. So, we're pleased with a lot of things that we're doing and have found some areas that we need to improve and excited to get into league play.
Well, it's been a great start to the year for the Crimson Tide. Alabama was the last team in the SEC that did not have a loss prior to this weekend against Columbia. Just if you could just talk us through the journey this team has been on since opening day.
Well, we have an older team. So, we had a really good fall team segment, really good preseason. We got a lot of kids that have been in the program for a while, and they really know how to work and prepare and compete. And on the most part, they haven't been perfect, but they've been pretty consistent as far as the way that they've prepared and competed and, the mentality that they've shown on a daily basis. And, a big theme for this team is consistency, because if you look back at last year, we did some really good things. We had a winning record against the SEC West teams that were in the College World Series. So our best was good enough. We just didn't play close enough to our best often enough. And that's kind of been the theme with this group. And if you have a consistent mentality, you have a better opportunity to have consistent results on the field. So, again, we've done a pretty good job of that. I feel like we've taken a step forward offensively. Did not feel like we had been where we needed to be offensively the last couple of years. That was a big emphasis in the offseason. Our lineup is, all of our statistics and metrics are noticeably better. I feel like we're doing a good job offensively and need to clean up the defense and probably change the pitching around a little bit over the next, week and a half. Garrett McMillan will be back in the mix here in a couple of weeks, which will give us a nice, shot in the arm, I think. So, again, a lot of good things and, excited to see where it takes us.
Crimson Tide at this point have only played one road game. That was last week at Samford on Tuesday, but you were scheduled to go second weekend of the year to Malibu, California and play Pepperdine, a road trip that on the schedule everybody around college baseball was envious of, thinking about Malibu in late February. But as it turned out, there was some bad weather there. How did you guys just talk us through the logistics of getting to be back at home that weekend against High Point after a series had been scheduled at Pepperdine?
Yeah, if you look at the way I schedule, I think you do need to go on the road one time in the first 4 weeks just to kind of get the giggles out, of getting on the plane or the bus and staying in a hotel and just logistically being used to playing, somewhere else besides your own park. And I always try to, make it a cool life experience for the kids. And, I thought it'd be neat to go to Southern California, go to Malibu and, 350 days a year, it's paradise out there. And, it got to early in the week and, there was 2 or 3 inches of rain forecasted in all Southern California for the weekend. And, there were some other college baseball teams that had games scheduled out there. I'm not the only one with that idea of, that's a good place to be in February. So, actually, High Point coach reached out to me. They were scheduled to play in a tournament in Riverside, California that had gotten canceled. And I guess they had been searching schedules and saw that we were going out there, and he just reached out and said, "Hey, are you still making the trip? If not, we're within driving distance. You guys, we need to play." Waited till the very last second that I could from a travel standpoint, as far as, the managing the tickets with the airlines and the hotel stuff. And once we got a little, to the middle of the week and realized it didn't make sense to go out there just to play a single doubleheader on Sunday, the way that we were building our pitchers up, and really important to keep those starters on a schedule early in the season, because you want guys like Ben Hest, Grayson Hitt to be able to throw, 90 pitches when you go to Gainesville this weekend. So it was a hectic 72 hours. There were a lot of moving parts, and really appreciate Jack Hale, our director of operations, and Jenny Sanders and Jess Perret, our administrator. A lot of people involved to pull that off, and appreciate our game workers, our field crew. That's a kick in the shins when you think you got a free weekend, and then you got 3 long days in a row. But a lot of people involved to help us pull that off.
Yeah, it was an interesting part of the schedule. Alabama comes home, gets to sweep High Point, and so much time for your group at Sewell Thomas Stadium this season. We've had some really good days with some good weather. Just have you enjoyed getting to be back at the Joe in front of some really good crowds and seeing some Crimson Tide wins? I know has been a lot of fun for the fans. What's it been like for you and your players getting to play so much at home early in the year?
Yeah, we obviously have a beautiful ballpark. The weather, besides, dancing around some rain, the weather's been relatively good. And man, our student turnout the whole time that I've been here has been amazing. And, I always say I'd love to go out and hang out there in right field. That's how I'd like to watch a baseball game. Everybody knows how crazy I am about my 2 dogs. And, that's a really neat way to watch a baseball game. So yeah, our fans have always been incredibly supportive and patient with us. And I know that they're all excited for us to get into league play as well.
A lot of fun so far this season at the Joe. A lot of fun as well at Baumhower's Victory Grille. March Madness is here, and it's time to hoop it up at Baumhower's. Get a pound of their world-famous wings for only $9.99. Baumhower's Victory Grille is the official watch party location of the Crimson Tide this March. Baumhower's Victory Grille, legendary fun, legendary food. We'll continue our conversation with Brad Bohannon in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chris Jakimick, I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. Roger Hoover joined by baseball head coach Brad Bohannon as we continue getting ready for Alabama at South Alabama on Tuesday, and then against the Florida Gators start SEC play Thursday through Saturday. And Coach, last week we got the great honor on Monday from the SEC office that Colby Shelton was the SEC Freshman of the Week, your everyday third baseman, starting as just a freshman and off to a very good start with 10 home runs this year. At one point had homered in 4 straight games. I know you were excited about his start to the season, but did you see this coming for him this early?
I don't think you can ever predict that a freshman's going to hit 10 home runs in the first 17 games. And, Colby's a guy that we really liked in the recruiting process. He was an easy eval. If you watch him play, he's just got a really clean, simple, repeatable swing. He's a physical kid for his age. And on top of all that, he's really mature. Just a really diligent worker and handles the ups and downs really well, especially for a freshman. So I'm not surprised that he's doing well and he's off to a good start. But again, man, you can't predict 10 home runs in the first 17 college games.
It really has been good to see for Colby Shelton. This team has been hitting a lot of home runs so far this season, not just Colby, but Matt Cassetti, Drew Williamson, up and down the lineup, a lot of home runs, and that means a lot of good celebrations in the dugout. What was your reaction when you first saw the disco helmet and then the posing for pictures that the Crimson Tide have been doing? We hear Jim Jarvis was the ringleader of all this.
Yeah, I really didn't know anything about it, and I didn't even notice it. After they come around third, I give them a high five, and they kind of do their deal in the dugout. I'm not really looking in the dugout. So the first time I found out about it was I saw pictures on social media. I saw a picture of Dom with it on, and I was just like, what in the world is this? And man, I hope we get to wear that thing out. I hope we hit so many home runs that we got to find a new, disco helmet by May. Hope we wear it out.
That's a really good plan. Certainly some great results, as we mentioned, for Colby Shelton. Looking at some of your position players, and you have a lot of depth for this season. Where are kind of some of the position battles? A lot of set starters in some spots, but where are you seeing specifically in the outfield and at second base, who's starting to emerge as some everyday players there?
Yeah, those are probably the two spots where you've seen us kind of go with matchups. And, it's pretty obvious. It's kind of hard to take a guy like Andrew Pinckney off the field because he can just help you win in so many ways. And, a guy like Andrew that, he can make a diving catch. He can throw a runner out. Even if he doesn't get a hit, he can beat out an infield single. He can beat out a double play ball, score from first on a double, steal a base. Jim Jarvis is another guy that's really hard to take off the field, right? Just being such an elite defender at a defense first position. But, Tommy Seidel and William Hammeder have gotten most of the time in left field. And really what you're trying to do is those guys they're a little different players, but you look at the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing pitcher and kind of map it up with the strengths and weaknesses of Tommy and Hammy, and kind of done the same thing at second base with Ed Johnson and Bryce Eblin. And Bryce has had a quad issue that he's been dealing with off and on the last couple of weeks. But, those are some areas that it's kind of helping us to, every coach deals with this, even, Nate and Nate deals with this too. Like, your best offensive lineup is never exactly the same as your best defensive lineup. And maybe when you have a guy like Ben Hess that strikes a lot of people out, you can be a little more aggressive at playing your best offense because there just aren't as many balls put in play. Where a guy like Jacob McNary throws a ton of strikes, doesn't get as much swing and miss, there's going to be more pressure on the defense when he pitches. Then maybe you're a little more prone to play the defense. So those are kind of all the variables that you look at, as you're putting the lineup together, and it's not as black and white or simple as you may think.
And then how about at the catcher position? Because we've seen Matt Cassetti produce, we've seen Dom Temez produce both with the bat and receiving this pitching staff. Do you like the rotation those guys have had? Because I know going into the year, that was something you wanted, was good depth at catcher.
Yeah, that's the most difficult position to recruit. If you find a catcher that, has like SEC level, strength and physicality, and they can catch the stuff that, that we have in this league, the mid 90s, and they can do something offensively. There just aren't many of those guys. And a lot of those guys get paid out of high school. So, that's a position that we've never had a lot of depth in my time here. And I feel like we have two of the best 5 catchers in the league, which means you get two of the best, 20 or 25 in the country. Mac and Dom are really, really good players. I'm very thankful to have both of them. And it's really a good feeling knowing that, if one of those guys go down, that you're going to be okay at that position and still be good at that position. So, they both have done a good job of swinging the bat. I think having each other has helped both of them be better versions of themselves as far as, not even like, pressing or pushing each other just as much as keeping each other fresh, because that's a pretty taxing position. I thought last year Dom's offensive numbers kind of dropped off at the back end of the year just because we did catch him, 50 games or whatever. So it's a strength of our club. And both of those guys have gotten some DH opportunities when they haven't been catching. Will Hodo has really been swinging the bat well the last week and a half. So, that's another position, the DH spot of, do you play the other outfielder? Do you play the other, second baseman, or do you play the other catcher, or do you play Will Hodo? Those guys have all kind of been performing well. So you just kind of match up their strengths and weaknesses to the opposing pitcher. And it's been a good deal for us.
Depth continues to be a strength for this Alabama baseball team. We'll talk more about that with Coach Bohannon coming up in a moment. Do want to tell you that the Everwood Performance of the Week goes to the Alabama men's basketball team, who yesterday won the SEC tournament in Nashville for the #1 overall seed now in the NCAA tournament. Congratulations to Coach Oats and the Crimson Tide. The road to the Final Four will start on Thursday in Birmingham. That is your Everwood Performance of the Week. Everwood, wood treated right. If you'd like to ask Coach questions tonight, just give us a call on the Yellowhammer Brewing Hotline at 877-202-BAMA. More baseball with Coach Bohannon when we return. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
By now, your daily routine is probably a little too routine. Don't you want to change? Don't you want to start playing by your
tractor, and right now you can get one with 0% financing. With a 43 horsepower engine, power reverser transmission, and a 10-year powertrain warranty, this John Deere helps you work with confidence day after day. So stop by one of our 29 Alabama and Tennessee locations or visit us online at trygreenequipment.com.
Offer ends January 31, 2023, 0% APR for 60 months, subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Andrew, an employee at BASF in Alabama. As a chemical operator, I enjoy working at BASF because I'm allowed to grow and show my potential. Everyone is like family. I actually like coming to work. And safety is the ultimate goal. At BASF, we create chemistry around the world through our people and our products. To join a winning team and a great place to work, visit basf.us/Alabama. That's basf.us/Alabama. BASF, we create chemistry.
This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Homewood Suites by Hilton in downtown Tuscaloosa. Make yourself at home. You can stay in comfort and enjoy the great options of the on-site 205 bar and restaurant. Homewood Suites by Hilton in Tuscaloosa, proud preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide. We're wrapping up our conversation with baseball head coach Brad Bohannon. And Coach, we've talked about your hitters. Now let's talk about the pitchers for a moment. 4 starts for your weekend rotation. How have you liked what Grayson hit along with Ben Hess and Jacob McNary have given you to start games on the weekend?
Well, all those guys have had some good outings and one or two that haven't been as good as the others. So, Ben Hess has been outstanding. He's, I think clearly been our best guy to this point. And, Grayson has done some good things. He hasn't thrown the ball, hasn't commanded the ball as well as what we saw in the fall. And I'd just like to see him pitch deeper in the game. We just, at the front end of the game, you need somebody that's going to be able to give you 5-6 innings. And, he's pitching through some traffic and deep in the count. So he's got to be a little more efficient. And Jacob hasn't been as sharp as he was last year. He needs to take a step forward as well. He's done a good job of pounding the strike zone, but he's just got to execute pitches at a higher level and stay off the barrel a little bit more. So, those guys have all done some good things, but we need all 3 of them to take a step forward. And that's an area where, I think you're going to see some changes here over the next week or two. Luke Coleman's been throwing the ball outstanding. We're going to start him tomorrow night against South Al. And if he's anything like he was at Sanford, then we're going to have to use him on the weekends in some role. And then, like I said, Garrett McMillan's going to be back in the mix soon as well. So, all those guys are doing some good things, but we need them all to take a step forward.
Crimson Tide hitting the road tomorrow to start this road trip. First to Mobile to take on South Alabama. And Coach, the games between USA and Alabama have been really entertaining the last 2 years. Owen Diodati, a walk-off grand slam 2 years ago. Wild pitch brings in Jim Jarvis for the winning run last year. But this year, you don't get the final at bat. It's a road game for the Crimson Tide. What needs to happen tomorrow down in Mobile?
Well, I want us to get back to what we did the first, 10, 12 games. And that is, offensively, we need to score first, and I'm glad we're batting first. Like, we need to throw the first punch. I kind of felt like we were on our heels this past weekend. So really need to offensively need to get our best swings off until we get to 2 strikes, and then we got to be a little more competitive, foul off some borderline pitches. I know Luke Holman's going to give us a great start. He's going to pound the strike zone with multiple pitches, and we got to defend the field. You need to make the other team earn every 90 feet they get, and we didn't do a great job of that as far as, spiking some pitches, not doing a good job of controlling the running game, and then making a couple of errors. You just can't give up 6 or 7 free 90s in a game and beat a good team. So those are the things that I'm looking for tomorrow night, and if we do those things like we did the first 12 games of the year, then we'll have a really good night tomorrow.
And it is spring break for your players, so you get to stay on the road after the game is complete in Mobile. Make your way to Gainesville, Florida to start SEC baseball Thursday through Saturday against the Gators. We know Kevin O'Sullivan has a really talented roster. It seems like the top batting numbers in the league are either Florida or Alabama, both as a team and individually. So you talk about a start to SEC play. It's going to be a great one coming up on Thursday for the Crimson Tide.
We're certainly not easing into it. Holy cow. LSU's gotten all the hype. All the scouts say that it's the best team in the history of college baseball that they've ever seen. I turn on the tape and I watch Florida, and I'm like, they got to be the best team in the country. I mean, you're talking about 3 starting pitchers that are all going to run the ball up to 97, 98 miles an hour. There are 3 starters that are going to be top 50 picks in the draft. Really athletic defense and a really deep, scary lineup. I mean, they're just an elite team. The one thing, they haven't been great at closing games out. So our starters are going to have to do a good job of matching their starters and keep us within a couple runs and try to win some games late. So it will be a tremendous challenge. I think it'll be a great barometer for us, for our kids to see how we stack up to arguably the best team in the country. And we're excited for it.
Series will start on Thursday night, so that'll be after Alabama men's basketball plays its first-round game in the NCAA tournament. And, Coach, you've had time before at Kentucky when you're an assistant coach there, and the Wildcats won the national championship. You've been here at Alabama when the football team has won a national championship. What's it like getting to coach with a lot of noise about the basketball program? I know your players have got to be locked into nearly every game that Nate Oates' team has been playing recently.
Yeah, it's been so fun to follow the basketball program. And, as a baseball coach, our downtime is kind of Thanksgiving to New Year's. So I think because of the dynamics of our calendar, I follow basketball really closely with our office being in Coleman. Nate and those guys, they practice at the main gym a lot. And I mean, all the time, 3-4 days a week, I'll go knock out some work in the Coliseum and watch, 45 minutes of practice. And just really happy for that staff, for Nate and for Christy to be in the postseason, to win the SEC regular season and tournament is a tremendous accomplishment. And, really hope that they both finish it off right. We'll be pulling for them, and I'll be watching on Thursday before our game, and really hope to see them in the Final Four.
Well, you're rooting on for them. They're rooting on for you. A great start to the season for the Alabama baseball program. And Coach Bohannon, just thank you for your time tonight here on Hey Coach. We look forward to seeing you in Mobile and Gainesville later in the week, but safe travels and roll tide. Thank you again.
All right, roll tide, Roger.
That's Brad Bohannon. I'm Roger Hoover. We'll continue with more Hey Coach coming up in a moment. It's presented by Alfa Insurance. Visit alfainsurance.com to find a local agent for auto, home, and life insurance. Call Alfa. We'll continue with more.
At Red Diamond, we know that there's simply nothing better than the perfect sip of fresh brewed iced tea. And we've been working hard to make sure choosing Red Diamond is always easy. With only simple ingredients, water, tea leaves, and pure cane sugar. Or no sugar. We make sure our tea tastes like, well, tea. Stop by your local cooler and pick up a gallon for a perfect sip today. Red Diamond. Perfect's not easy.
Here at Payless Drugs, we continue to be just what the doctor ordered. We know getting the medicine you need is especially important during these unique times. And for your safety and convenience, we offer a drive-through at every location. Plus, we have prescription delivery and contactless pickup at all locations. Now's the time to take care of your immunization needs. Stop by any of our convenient locations today.
Just what the doctor ordered. Payless Drugs.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Leading by 13.
Charles making plays everywhere.
Miller, dagger, another bank first 3. Brandon Miller giving Bama its biggest lead. Timeout A&M.
That refreshing Bama highlight is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, brewed locally in Alabama and served to fans all across the Southeast. We're glad to welcome you back live to Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. This is Roger Hoover, now pleased to be joined by the head coach of not only the SEC regular season champion, the SEC tournament champion, and for the NCAA tournament, the #1 overall seed Alabama Crimson Tide, Nate Oats.
Thank
Roll
you.
Tide, Coach.
Roll Tide. It's nice to hear that intro.
Certainly is. Well, nice to see the Crimson Tide play as well as they did in Nashville. What fueled that great run in the SEC tournament?
You know what? Our defense got back to where it needed to be. You know, we didn't shoot the ball great every game, but we said we needed to get our defense to a point where we could win games, and we didn't make shots. You know, we were able to win every game by double digits without ever really shooting the ball great. I mean, last game we came out making some shots early. We shot 36%, and that's decent. But that was the only, you know, the other games we didn't shoot 36% from three, not from the field. But you know, the other games we didn't particularly shoot it, you know, great. I mean, we were, you know, against Missouri we were less than 30%. Against Mississippi State we were 35%. But you know, some guys struggled to shoot it a little bit. So I thought the defensive intensity was there. You know, we rebounded it well. I don't think we got out rebounded at all. I think we were even with Mississippi State, plus 14 on Missouri and plus 13 on Texas A&M. So, you know, between the defense, the rebounding, you know, and then we had different guys step up. You know, Noah Grille had a big tournament for us. You know, and I can't say enough about. I've been saying, you know, how great of a kid he is, what a leader he is, all this. He kept himself prepared, and when we needed him, he showed up. So I'm really happy for him. So, you know, we got a great group of kids. I think the country's starting to see what a great group of kids we have, and we've been playing some pretty high-level basketball.
How about the energy to start the games as well? I know that was something we talked about last week at this time. You wanted to see your group play with a lot of energy, and we really got to see that from game one against Mississippi State.
Yeah, no, they came out of the gate ready to play. They got stops, you know, were able to get out in transition. You know, our offense was better to start the games. You know, we definitely had better starts. I mean, you know, the whole starting group had talked to each other, and you know, like they got it figured out. So it was definitely helpful in winning the games to have better starts. It's always easier to play from ahead than it is to play from behind. So see if we can't keep that up. You know, these two games we got coming up in Birmingham this weekend are not going to be the easiest of games. You know, we feel like we got a pretty tough draw as a number one overall seed, but I think our guys will be ready.
Certainly believe that as well. Why don't we go to the Yellowhammer Brewing Hotline for just a moment. Tonight's first question is brought to you by Alabama 811. You can always contact 811 before you dig to know what's below. Call 811 or visit al811.com. Let's go down to Grand Bay, Alabama, where Pee Wee joins us now. Roll Tide, Pee Wee.
Roll Tide, Roger. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. First, let me congratulate you and your staff and all the players on winning the tournament this weekend. One of the best weekend tournaments that I've seen, and we played absolutely great. But I wanted to talk about the final game against A&M and the play of Javon Quinterly. You know, this young man 2 years ago was the MVP of this tournament, and at a time when we really needed him to step up, he stepped up, took over in the first half when we needed the plays to be made and the shots to be made, and scored, I think it was 18 points in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. But if you would, just talk about Javon and his play during this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Javon was great. Javon was great 2 years ago up in Nashville in the tournament. He's peaking again. You know, he's big for us. He gives us another offensive scoring threat out there, you know, makes teams play us honest. You know, he gets downhill. He creates shots for his teammates. You know, I mean, he's one of the best point guards in the country, you know, when he's on top of his game. So, you know, I think he had, over the 3 games, he averaged about 5 assists. He was 2-to-1 assisted turnovers. So he, you know, it wasn't just his scoring ability, his threat to score, but it was him getting in the paint, breaking down defenses, keeping the defense honest. So, you know, I was, you know, really happy for him, excited for the way that he played. I mean, you know, the one game, I think, you know, he only had 2 against Missouri, but, you know, in the championship game against A&M, you know, he scored 22. So, and he, you know, he shot it well from 3. He's 4 of 8 from 3. He got downhill to the rim. So, in the Missouri game, when he didn't score that well, he had 7 assists and 1 turnover. So, you know, he scored it in double digits the other 2 games. The one game he didn't score in double figures. He had 7 assists to 1 turnover. So he was able to impact the game, all three of those games, whether it was scoring, getting in the paint, finding guys, making assists. And I really thought his defense on Wade Taylor in the championship game, I mean, Wade got us pretty good at their place. He had 28 on us down in College Station. I think Javon took that personal. He came out and did an unbelievable job guarding him. Wade didn't make his first field goal until about 9 minutes left in the game. So, you know, and he ended up with 13, but he scored most of those late in the game when the game was well past decided. So I thought his defense, his offense, both were great this weekend. We need him to continue to play like that.
Thank you for the call, Pee Wee. And then how about the play of Brandon Miller? What did you see from him those 3 games, especially that great dunk he had that really put it out of reach yesterday?
I mean, Brandon was great. I mean, it's been great all year, but he went home to Nashville and really showed out in the tournament. You know, he ended up getting tournament MVP along with, you know, regular season Player of the Year award. So, you know, I don't know how many times that's been done. Probably not too often. But, I mean, he played well. You know, he averaged 20 over the tournament. You know, he averaged 11 rebounds to average a double-double for the tournament. You know, he shot it pretty well from 3. I think he made 11 threes over the 3 games and shot about 40% from 3. So, and shot over 90% at the free throw line. So, you know, he did great for us. The dunk you're talking about was unbelievable. I mean, he was up there a little bit. He took off on him too. They kind of parted the Red Sea for him. So that was kind of a nice ceiling. You know, that kind of game was pretty well out of reach at that point. That kind of sealed it, I think. So he played well. We need him to continue to play well. And he was playing with a hurt groin too. So, you know, he kind of showed how tough he is to be able to play through some injuries.
And, of course, that was a great moment. All the Crimson Tide fans in the building loved it. Just what do you think of the atmosphere in Nashville, especially for the championship game with so much Crimson in the building like you wanted to see?
It was awesome. It was like a home game. I mean, I can't say enough about the people from Alabama that traveled up to Nashville to support us in that championship game. It felt like it was 75-80%. You could tell right out of the gate before the game even started. You know, when they were going through the little light show before the game, the Roll Tide chant got going. I was waiting for the A&M chant, and if they tried, there wasn't enough people to get it going loud enough for me to hear it. So the Roll Tide fans showed up. We need them to show up even stronger in Birmingham. We need that. Might have been 75% in Nashville. We need that to be about 95%, maybe 99% up in Birmingham. So we need everybody to find their way into that arena, get themselves a ticket and support us. You know, this will be the last 2 games we play in the state of Alabama with this team. It's been a historic team. We need to make a historic run now in the NCAA tournament.
Listen to Coach Oats. We want to see everybody in Birmingham coming up later this week, and we'll talk more about that when we return in just a moment. You're listening to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Tide fans, Golden Flake Snacks have been a proud partner with the Tide family for 65 years. The South's original potato chip, Golden Flake Snacks are delicious fan favorites because they're crafted from traditional Southern recipes. From crisp, perfectly flavored potato chips to light and airy pork rinds and fluffy, cheesy cheese puffs, Golden Flake Snacks are a winning combination with Alabama basketball. Share Golden Flake Snacks with your Tide family and friends. Simple, Southern goodness. That's Golden Flake.
Hi, we're RJ Young. We offer technology solutions that power your business, school, hospital, church, law firm, and more. RJ Young will empower your office to be the modern office. That means an office that integrates technology as a business advantage, all to help you work smarter. From managed IT services, office equipment, and technology, business process outsourcing, and digital communications, we're proud to be your one-stop for technology solutions that power your business. Come visit us at rjyoung.com.
All right, everyone, let's hit the road.
Mom, who's this?
Oh, that's Michelle. She's our Alpha agent. She helped me file that auto claim fast after that accident last week, so I figured we'd bring her with us.
Breakfast burrito?
All right, 200 miles before we stop. I hope you've all used the bathroom. Michelle, you good?
Before a little thing becomes a big thing, call your Alpha agent.
Game day is full of ifs. Like if Alabama can take home another Iron Bowl victory. Who knows? But if you want the most convenient way to pay in T-Town, get the University of Alabama Regents Visa debit card. Tap to pay contactless card technology and Lock-It card controls give you what you need on game day or any day. To order your card, visit regents.com/GoBama. Regents, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Yellowhammer Brewing is proud to sponsor the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yellowhammer Brewing has been crafting fine beers for the state of Alabama for 12 years running. Their beers include a variety of classic styles, including their latest release, Yellowhammer Gold, a light, easy-drinking American lager. These guys are local and doing great things for their community. You can find their beers at grocery stores, restaurants, and craft beer shops throughout the state. Check them out at yellowhammerbrewing.com. Make your next pint of Yellowhammer and roll Tide.
6-5 in the final seconds. We'll tip away and enjoy it, folks. Bama champions again. Undisputed. SEC champions once again.
Our conversation with Nate Oats is presented by CB&S Bank. You can bank anywhere at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Roger Hoover joined once again by Alabama head coach Nate Oats, and now we're looking ahead to the NCAA tournament starting on Thursday in Birmingham for Alabama. We still don't know the opponent just yet. Southeast Missouri State or Texas A&M Corpus Christi. What have you learned about those schools so far in the last 24 hours?
I mean, they're both good programs. You don't make the NCAA tournament without being good. You know, Corpus Christi won their league. SEMO made a run in the tournament, made it. You know, they're both play fast, which, you know, is good and bad. You know, it's good because, you know, when you obviously we've got more talent than them. We're the number one overall seed and they're 16 seed. When you got more talent, you like to have more possessions. So it's good that the, you know, hopefully they both, because if either one of them try to slow it down, that's not really how they play. So we like the game fast ourselves, plus we're the more talented team, so that's good. You know, the one bad thing is, you know, they could get going up and down and maybe get loose a little bit because they can shoot some threes. So we've looked at them today. We haven't practiced yet. We gave the guys a day off. We'll practice tomorrow. Tomorrow's practice, we're not really going to focus in on either one of those tremendously. We're going to look at what Maryland and West Virginia do and the stuff that they do that we haven't done a lot of. You know, like West Virginia's press. You know, is there anything else tomorrow morning? My staff's supposed to be working all night here, not all night through the night, but all afternoon, evening to figure out what, and then tomorrow morning, then we'll meet tomorrow morning, figure out West Virginia and Maryland. Is there anything different about them? We already know West Virginia's press that we need to work on in Tuesday's practice, because obviously Thursday, Saturday games, you're not going to be able to go full speed in Friday's practice. So in tomorrow's practice, we'll try to cover anything Maryland or West Virginia does that's out of the ordinary that we haven't seen much of, either offensively or defensively, and make sure we get that down Tuesday, and then spend a lot of time on ourselves again, just making sure we're sharp, try to make some shots. It always helps to make shots. And then Wednesday, once we know who we play, that practice will be 100% focused on that opponent, whoever we end up playing, and then game time on Thursday.
And really looking at all that, getting ready for all these different matchups, the scouting, the video work, who on your staff's really responsible? I imagine it's an all-hands-on-deck operation right now, but who are some of the key people making sure you guys are ready to go for what's ahead this week?
Well, you know, Charlie runs our defense, so he's running the scouting reports for all the teams. He's in charge, but, you know, he's got his crew of people, Derek, video coordinator, you know, some of our GAs, you know, they're working with them over there. You know, Christian Pino and Brian Hodgson kind of are in charge of personnel. So they're looking at all the team's personnel and making sure the players have the personnel down so we can guard them. So that's on the defensive side of the ball too, but that's their specific part of it. offensive side of the ball, Petway runs that, but he's got, he's taking one team, on the defensive side, Charlie's taking one team, Derek's taking another for the teams we play Thursday. And then they've got some GAs and other support staff working ahead on the West Virginia, Maryland. Same thing on the offensive side of the ball. Bowman's got one team, Petway's got the other team. The rest of the guys are breaking down West Virginia, Maryland, so that's ready to go. They're going to kind of present that to Petway and Adam just to make sure they know what's going on by tomorrow morning. Same with on the defensive side. Charlie's mainly focused on the one team he's got. And Derek's got the one team he's got. Everybody else will kind of present West Virginia, Maryland to them in the morning, so we're all, before we all meet as a staff, and then we'll all be kind of on the same page with how that stuff goes.
And for the head coach, where do you stay focused? What are your eyes on?
You know what? I've got the edits that they've made. I'm not going to be able to watch multiple full games on all four teams, and we're really more focused on the 2-16 seeds right now. But I want to watch the edits they made, and maybe one game each. I've seen a little bit on. I started with Corpus Christi, so as soon as I get out of here, I've got all the edits that they've come up with, and pretty much personnel edits, and they call them day one edits, the basic first edits of the main actions that the teams run are both on my computers. I'll watch those and then try to get maybe a game or two of each team in.
So again, a lot of film for Coach Oats to watch. Before we let you go again, just how much do you want to see Alabama fans in Birmingham cheering on the Crimson Tide Thursday and hopefully Saturday as well?
No, I mean, it's huge. I mean, you saw how well we played in the championship game in Nashville. Eight days before that, we were in A&M without our fans. Didn't fare nearly as well. So let's get our fans in there. It's a big deal. Our players' energy's a lot better when they're in the crowd. It's a big deal. So I'd love to see that place packed. Let's try to get it as close to a home game as we can, somewhere to like it was against Gonzaga. We're going to play a lot better on the defensive end than we did against Gonzaga. I promise you we'll be ready to go. So it'll be a fun weekend for you guys. It'll be good for us. We need your support. Let's make sure you're there.
We can't wait. Roll Tide, Coach. Best of luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Roll Tide.
As the head coach of the SEC tournament, regular season champion, and for the NCAA tournament, the #1 overall seed, Alabama Crimson Tide, Nate Oats. We thank him for his time with us tonight on Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa. I have to say a special thank you as well to Onward Reserve, the official apparel provider of the Crimson Tide Sports Network, for all the great gear this season. Visit onwardreserve.com for all of your golf and game day apparel. Live authentically with Onward Reserve. Back to wrap up this edition of Hey Coach in just a few moments. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes!
So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be. We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature. DiscoverTheForest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Trustmark is the bank that fits you to a
T.
You can bank right on your phone or
tablet
with the My Trustmark app. Our mortgage lenders will help you buy your dream
two-story tutor.
And Trustmark Tailored Wealth offers
tried and true
advice that makes
transforming
your future a piece of
toast.
Nice. Trustmark. People you trust. Advice that works. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
At My Eye Doctor, we would never think of getting between you and your screen, except with blue light lenses. Eye strain can happen by spending hours and hours with devices, texting, gaming, binging. Our lens solutions can help minimize the stress and strain of harmful blue light. We welcome all insurances. Eye care and eyewear are better together at My Eye Doctor, Doctors of Optometry. Schedule an appointment today at myeydr.com.
Well, folks, this is going to be a good one as our drivers get ready to drive the new Toyota from the 2023 lineup. And they're off!
The Ready, Set, Go event now through April 4th. Toyota, let's go places. Get 2.9% APR for 36 months on a new 2023 Toyota RAV4. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through April 4th, 2023. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. $29.04 monthly payment for every $1,000 financed. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
What's on tap next for Bama is presented by Bud Light. Bud Light is a proud sponsor of Alabama Athletics. Roll Tide with Bud Light. Well, we're going to be busy over the next few days, starting with baseball coming up tomorrow at 6:30 at South Alabama. The softball team also on the road at North Alabama at 6 p.m. Then, of course, Thursday through Saturday, the baseball team starting the SEC portion of the schedule at Florida, and then men's basketball hitting the airwaves at 12:45 for the first round of the NCAA tournament. 1:45 will be the tip-off from Birmingham. Then on Saturday, the women's basketball team playing in the NCAA tournament as well. We will go on the air at 3:55 on Saturday. The men's game to be announced, and don't forget softball as well. Coming up Saturday through Monday of next week. If you missed any portion of tonight's show, download it on the Alabama Insider Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. That does it for tonight's Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. Good night from Baumhower's Victory Grille here in Tuscaloosa. For Tom Stipe and Ethan Carabin here at Baumhower's, Jerry Kelly back there at Learfield Studios, along with Brad Bohannon and Nate Oats. I'm Roger Hoover saying thank you for listening. Good night and roll, Tide, roll.
Live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa, Hey Coach has been presented by Alfa Insurance. For auto, home, and life insurance, call Alfa.